How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. So the other day I was driving my car, and as I'm driving it, to me personally, didn't feel like it was running on all 8. I don't think it was running on all 8 cylinders. So while I'm waiting on the steering wheel adapter to come in, we're going to diagnose and see if this thing is running on all 8, because it seemed to be sputtering a little bit. So I've got new spark plugs for the car. If I got a bad coil, bad fuel injector, something, we're gonna go ahead and start looking into this. So we're gonna start the car up, get it warm, make sure there's, like, you know, just in case like a valve seal is leaking a little bit of oil down into it, I want to make sure it's all cleaned out, because I'm thinking about also doing a compression check. So we're gonna get it warm, then we're going to undo the coils and see if I have a dead coil. Then we'll go from there. Airbag lights on. Wonder why. Alright, let it run for a little bit. Then let's start. Hey, get. Alright, so we're going to let it run for a little bit, but at the same time we got to start taking apart some of the motor, because we got to take the cover off, and then we got to get this cover off, and then there's another one underneath here, because that's where the ignition coil are, spark plugs, and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and take some of the panels off first. So I got the cover off of this side, and there are the 4 coil packs for this side. So this side's kind of easy to get to. And I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but it's like as soon as you unplug them, plug one, there the motor changes. Plug it right back in, and it picks right back up to the way it should sound. Off, back on. So I went down this side. These 4 are working, because when I took each one of those off, the motor changed. It changed its pitch, its sound. So I know those 4 coils are working, and those 4 spark plugs are working. Now I got to get to this side, which the 4 are underneath this area right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and check those and see how it sounds with those ones. Hopefully something. Okay. So like I said, the 4 on that side are fine. Then you got the 4, so you got, I don't know the exact firing order, but you know, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So right now, the 3rd one back, which is right there, is unplugged. See if I can plug it back in. And there it's plugged back in. There was no change of the motor. So this thing's only running on 7 cylinders. So the 3rd one back on that side, either spark plug or coil, is dead. So next it's tear it apart. Turn the car off, let it cool down, and then this side is easy to go ahead and replace the spark plugs. This side, the whole air inlet's got to come off. And while I'm there, I'm going to take that coil out and switch it with one over here, because I know these ones work, so that way it's also easier for me to check and see if it is a dead coil or just a dead spark plug. So I'm hoping it's just a dead spark plug, because I have 8. If it's a dead coil, well, that's 50 bucks. But hey, at least I figured out what my issue is. So here are all 4 of the spark plugs off the one bank. The one bank that's actually running. I mean, they're dirty, but they're all clean looking, you know. So it looks like everything was running decent. I mean, here's a new one. I'm running NGK G powers, which I've ran on other vehicles, and I mean, all of these look decent, so not an issue on that side. But again, that was the side that is running good. So I'm gonna finish buttoning this side up, and then we're gonna go ahead, switch to the other side and start tearing that apart, and hoping that a spark plug is bad in that cylinder. But if not, I'll just order a coil. Not a big deal. All right, let's go ahead, wrap this side up, switch to the other. All right, it's the next day. It was getting late when I did the one side spark plug, so here's the other side. I just took them out, and front to back, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 was the one that was not getting spark, surprisingly, because of 3, but that was working. But this is the dead cylinder. I don't know if all of this stuff on it has to do with the issue, but I put a new spark plug in it and checked everything, and now it's running on all 8. So I'm guessing that that spark plug was just bad. So went ahead and replaced it. Now it's running good. All right, so on to the next thing. So still don't have my steering wheel adapter, but it has shipped. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and remove the seats. We're gonna start with the passenger side. We'll get that out, and then start figuring out how to get the NRG seats in. I don't know. I haven't done custom seats in a long time, so this is gonna be new, or a challenge, I guess. Move all this crap out of the way. So I've already got the bolts loose. So now all I gotta do is remove these, unplug it, and then the seat will come out. All right. Probably have to move the car too, because I can't get the door all the way open because of the Suburban. Be right back. Okay, so got it completely unbolted, folded back. Now let's see if I can squeeze it out here without moving the car forward. Right. Cool. Now, gotta get in and clean all this before I put the new seat in. Because, yeah, money, more crap, dirty, soda. Lovely mess. Now my next thing is I'm wondering if I can adapt these seat brackets, you know, because here's where it mounts down. So I'm wondering if I can cut these off and then mount the new seat to that. Might make it easier, I don't know. Really, I don't know. I prefer to use the stock brackets and then make the seats fit. That'd be the preferred way that I'd like to do. Alright, well, let's cut them off. So, this is the bracket that mounts to the seat belt. right on the side. So basically, you just undo the seatbelt mount, and then you can bolt this right back up. Hopefully. Alright, so here it is, loosely installed. None of the bolts are tight on anything. So like I said, it's still loose, but so you got the main bar, which goes in between one seat belt to the other seat belt. Then you got the down bar, which goes from the bracket here to the bottom seat belt mount there. And once it's mounted in permanently, I think it's going to be nice and sturdy. The only thing is it's just kind of mounted there. It still can go up and down, but I'm leaving it here because once you get the seat in, you have to make sure that this is at the correct position to the seat's holes for the seatbelt harness. So that's what I'm saying. I just loosely mounted it, and then we're gonna go finish the seats, and then we can hard mount the harness bar. I like that. I think it's nice. I got the seats in. Well, excuse me. I got one seat in. Passenger seat is in. The only thing is I disconnected the harness bar right here because the bolt that goes through it it needs to be longer. So I'm gonna go to the store next day or two and pick up some longer bolts because it's putting a bind on the bracket right here. And then the next thing I also need to do is, you can see the harness bar is basically right here. I need to get the harness bar up to about right here. So it needs to come up a couple inches. But guess we're gonna save that for the next video. So I'm still waiting on my steering wheel adapter. It should be in the next day or two, but till then we're gonna work on the driver's seat and a couple other things. That will all be in the next video. All right, like, subscribe, comment, catch you in the next one.